My name is you. Mama Diana. We're the Fragrance.
Hey Fragrance family, I'm Daver.
And I'm Steven.
And we're the Fragrance Bros. Coming at you again with another review, this time with Steven from Redolescence. How are you doing, Steven?
I'm doing pretty well, Dave. Thank you for having me on. I appreciate it.
Oh man, my pleasure. Really great having you on. You have an amazing channel, have a lot of great content, a lot of great videos, and you've got a lot of momentum going on right now too. So really a pleasure to have you on.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. I was actually just watching one of your videos, so I really appreciate the kind words. It means a lot to me.
And today we are reviewing Magic Circus from Men New York's Scent Stories line. Date introduced is 2014. It's classified as a citrus gourmand, oddly enough. Notes are cotton candy, caramel, candied nuts, bergamot, pink peppercorns, labdanum, geranium, patchouli, and wood chips. Now, Stephen, what'd you get out of longevity out of this?
Longevity for this one on me, I want to say was a little bit above average, maybe between average and above average, I guess, for an eau de parfum average, but as it compares to other scents in my collection, I would say above average. Yeah.
I would agree. It's kind of in between that average and excellent range.
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty good. I want to say it was like in the 9-hour range for me. That's pretty good.
That is really good. I got about 7 to 8 hours, so yeah, I'm pretty much in that same vicinity.
What about projection?
I feel like the projection wasn't as good as the longevity. I want to say projection, maybe it really jumped up off my skin for like 3 hours, and then it started to sit a little bit closer to the skin. But you know, I actually appreciate the projection on this one. I don't really need it to jump up off my skin that much.
Totally agree there too. I thought it was kind of on the average or the lighter side of average for me overall. Yeah. And I agree. I think it's one of those fragrances because it's on the strange side and on the very sweet side. I don't need those scents to really be too loud. Season, I would say this is great for fall. It screams fall. Fall! It's great for winter and good for day or night, I think. And purpose, I would say the only thing I can see this for is casual.
Yeah, I can kind of agree with you on that. It's kind of a contradiction because it is so pricey that I want to wear it some occasion other than casual, but I don't know how I would feel wearing this dressed up. I don't know. It's one of those weird scents when it comes to occasion, so I have to agree with you on that.
So, Stephen, what does this fragrance remind you of?
You know, when I think about the name, Magic Circus, and what they were trying to do with it, or what I guess Mindy was trying to do with it, founder of Men New York, it doesn't really remind me all too much of a circus, because I know we have notes like the nut or the peanut note, and then we have the cotton candy and the caramel, and I guess I do get cotton candy, maybe a little bit, but mostly caramel. But I think I went into it thinking I was going to get something different. I've smelled a fragrance by Atelier called Bois Farine. I don't know if you've smelled that fragrance before.
Oh yeah, that's really weird.
Yeah, that's a weird one. And that one to me smells like peanuts or almond butter, and I thought that this is what that was going to smell like. I thought Magic Circus was going to smell like that one. And then when I smelled it, I just got a lot of caramel from it. It does smell sweet to me, and I guess it reminds me of, parts of my childhood when I used to make these frequent trips to the deli and the gas station and just, stock up on sugar and candy. So it kind of reminds me of that. I just don't think it's all that accurate as it pertains to the note breakdown. Yeah,
I can see what you mean. There's something about this with the name that conjures up an image of what it should be, and it doesn't really remind me of that per se. I think part of it to me is it is a circus that is magical. It's something that is imaginary. So to me, it doesn't actually remind me of an actual circus.
Right.
It reminds me of kind of this ideal of what a circus is, because if you go to a circus, it smells, there's a lot of barnyardy and bad smells in there too, and this doesn't have any of that. Like you said, I get mostly caramel in this. I do get a tiny bit of the cotton candy. I do actually get a really nice roasted nut smell in there, and that reminds me of my childhood as well. Downtown Mobile, there's a shop called the Peanut Shop, and it's been there for decades, and they roast peanuts there, and that smell is in here. Which is pretty cool. To me, it has a very whimsical feel to it. And I get what they're saying here, because it doesn't really remind me of a literal interpretation of the circus. It reminds me of a whimsical, idealized version of the circus in your memories. When you remember the circus, you don't remember the horse poop and the elephant dung and all that kind of stuff. You remember the cotton candy and the caramel and the peanuts and things like that.
Sure.
I think that is kind of what it makes me feel, but I totally agree with you that there's something about it that isn't exactly literal here.
I definitely have to agree with you on that too. When you said roasted, it never really clicked in my mind until now, but I have to agree with you on that. While I don't really get too much of like a peanut or nutty smell from it, I definitely get a roasted smell from it. What I get in this scent a lot is a note called maltol, or ethyl maltol. And it's used in a lot of other scents like Angel by Terry Mugler. It's used in Angel Men Pure Malt. And what I really like about this composition is that they decided to highlight the note of maltol, which comes from roasted barley, surprisingly. And it has a caramel smell. Whereas in fragrances like Angel Men Pure Malt, where they took the maltol note and they used it in the background, and they used other facets like a boozy accord and dried fruits and patchouli. In this scent, they took that caramel note and they made it the forefront. So I really appreciate that about this scent, and I think for that reason it's unique and it's different from other scents in my collection, even though they may have that similar note in there.
It's a great scent.
Yeah.
When I smelled this line, this was one of those scents that really jumped out whenever I smelled it. And I like a lot of the scents in the Scent Stories line from Men New York.
Yeah.
I made a video about it, and I'll have a link down below to that. And this is one that I really like.
From what I've been told, Mindy, one of the founders of Men New York, has a neurological phenomenon known as synesthesia, which is where she makes associations between colors and smell. Some people make association between colors and numbers, colors and days of the week, months of the year. And she said that when she smells this fragrance, it reminds her of these colorful swirls. And I think that's what prompted them to get like this Ferris wheel sort of looking thing in the apothecary on Crosby Street. If you walk into Men New York, to the right there's this huge Ferris wheel in their store, and I think it kind of all goes around that theme. So I know this is a very personal scent for her, and I definitely see what they were going for, what they were trying to do, and I think for that reason it just makes it that much more of an interesting scent.
It's definitely a really unique scent. I've talked to other people and they've always said, wow, that is so different, that is so cool. It just really has just this emotional impact on some level. And I always like a fragrance when it kind of connects that way. Yeah, I think we've said it all. It's cotton candy and roasted nuts and caramel. To me, I get really a kind of a carefree feeling.
Yeah.
It's warming. It is whimsical. It is sweet and gourmandy. I mean, it's really just great.
But not juvenile.
Exactly. It's definitely not juvenile. So what about compliments? Do you get many compliments when you wear this?
I didn't get any, and I think that's mostly due to the fact that I haven't worn it in public all that often. I mean, I did testing around the house and whatnot. My fiance really likes this one. She had some really positive things to say about it, but as far as unsolicited compliments in public, I didn't really get any.
My wife didn't really care for this, and maybe it was the sweetness. I'm not really sure. She said it smelled indie, which is kind of funny. I don't really think it has the indie smell, but it's different. And I think because it's different, that's going to turn some people off.
Yeah.
And to some people, it's going to really excite them. And to me, it really excites me. I think it's really cool. I think my only hit, though, with this fragrance is that it's hard to wear for me.
Yeah.
I don't really know exactly a good time for me to wear it other than just casual occasions. It's not very versatile for me.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, if I'm going out somewhere with my fiance or with a couple of good friends of mine, and I know I'm not going to be in a close encounter scenario, just because, like you said, the reception, you're not entirely sure what other people are going to feel about it. Same thing here. I feel comfortable wearing this around the house, or maybe running errands, doing chores, but I don't think I would necessarily wear this to work or anything like that.
So bang for buck, this is $240 for a 75 ml. And I'll admit, that's on the steep side. I think for a lot of people, including myself, that price kind of keeps me away from buying a bottle of some of these fragrances. But I think you really have to try this line and smell it for yourself. You can get samples really reasonably on their website, and maybe you'll fall in love with this fragrance. And I think for some people, I think they really will. So Stephen, final rating, what do you give this?
I'd have to give this one a 4 out of 5. The reason I give it a 4 out of 5 and not anything higher is because A, I really do like the scent. I think it's a great scent, great use of the note of maltal or that caramel smell that you get. The only thing is that I guess my expectations were just a little bit shot down, but now that you mention that it's more supposed to be more of like a whimsical circus, not a literal interpretation of a circus, but I like it for what it is. Yeah, I think I would give it a 4 out of 5.
Yeah, I totally agree. I'm going to give this a 4 out of 5 as well, for a lot of the same reasons. I really love the scent. I think, it really makes me feel things,
Yeah.
I think that's really cool. It's hard for me to wear. I can't really find a great time to wear it. The price is high, and that does affect some people from buying it. But I think it's just a wonderful scent, and I wouldn't mind having it in my collection one day.
I know, likewise.
So that's all we have for Magic Circus. Have you tried it? Let us know down in the comments down below. And of course, if you haven't already, please like and subscribe down below. We'll love you for it. And I'll link Stephen's channel down below. Of course, thank you for coming on, Stephen. Really appreciated it.
Anytime, my pleasure. Hopefully I'll be on in the future again.
Yeah, definitely. And we'll see you next time. We're the Fragrance Brothers. Bye.
Take care. Bye.